Okay. Hello, my name is Andrea Hutchison, and I'm going to show you a couple things about how I use Google Classroom in my 8th grade U.S. history class. So here I am on the home screen of Google Classroom. You can see that I have several classrooms that I've created. These are the ones in red are the ones I've created. These are some other ones that I'm a part of, and then these two are this one right here is a classroom that someone else created that I'm a student in. So you can use Google Classroom, of course, with your students. It's also a great way to share like staff development materials and things like that, and have teachers enroll as students. So I'll start by clicking on one of my classes that I've created. The first thing you want to do is you want to add students to your Google Classroom, and you can do that in two ways. The first way is if you click here under People, you can simply click this little Invite Student button here, and then you can just type in their names and invite students that way. They do have to have a domain with your school in it for that to work. The other way to do it is if I go back here, if I click on the settings, this is how I do it in my classes. You have a class code here, and the students can use that to enroll. So they would just go to Google Classroom, and they would just click on this add button, click join class, and they would put in that code, and they would automatically join your Google Classroom. That's the easier way, but then you can, of course, add people through their email as well. So once you've added students, you can do a couple different things in Google Classroom over here at the add button. An announcement you would use if you just want to share something with your students. You can just put text here like test tomorrow. You can share like a link to review materials. You can attach YouTube videos, anything from your Drive, or any other attachments that you want. The topics are a great way to organize things. So I have mine divided into how I do my units for the year. So if I put this under Unit 3, if the students are trying to find it, they could simply just go to the topic and find all things related to Unit 3. And if I want to put some Quizlet cards or something there, I could. The great thing about announcements and assignments is you can either post it now, or you could schedule it to post later. So you can, so if you don't want to do it now, but you don't want to forget, you can schedule it to post at a later time. The other options are you can create an assignment. So an assignment is what you want to use if you want the students to turn in something. Okay, so you would title your assignment, just say like vocab, give instructions. I'll just be simple and say write a sentence for each word. And then you can either have the students create something, or you can attach a document as well. So let's say I'm going to go into my Drive here, find an assignment. Okay, so here's an assignment. So I'm going to attach this, and now I have a couple different options, okay? I can have where the students just view the file, where the students can edit the file, and everyone will be working on the same document, or I can have it where it's going to make a copy for each student, and each student have their own copy. So you got to be careful with this, because if you forget and you just make it students can edit file, they're all going to be working on the same assignment. If you want to make a copy for each one of them, you would click that, and it will create however many individual copies of people in your class. So you can set due dates here. Again, you can do the topics. You can set how you want it to be graded. And again, you can add resources here. So if you could say, watch this YouTube video, review it, and then answer these questions if you wanted to. So that's assignments. Once an assignment is complete, it would look like this. So I could click on it, And I could see over here the students that did it. And over here I could see the students who have not done this yet. And this is where I would review it. I would click on all their work and I could give them grades for it. Very, very easy. Here you see that I have 25 of these graded. 2 kids have not turned this in yet. Another new option is this create quiz assignment. This is really, really nice. It automatically puts in a Google form. Google Forms, you can set them to grade automatically. Very simple. I love it. Very easy for grading. And it'll put your grades in automatically as well. Create question. This is another one I use pretty frequently to start discussions, or as Bo works, you just simply ask a question. You can type in instructions. Again, if you want to grade it, you can set the points, you can set due date, etc. Down here, you have some different options. So this one will be a short answer question because it's open-ended. But if I wanted to do like an assessment, I could do a multiple choice. If I want to do like an assessment or a poll, you can set it to where students can reply to each other. They can have like a silent discussion. You can set it to where students can go back and edit their answers depending on what you want to do. Again, you can add resources down here. So again, if you want them to read a short article and then answer a question, you can. I like to kind of have them have discussions between themselves before we start a new topic. So that is ask a question. The last one here is to reuse a post. So if you create something and you want to do that again without retyping it, you can do that. I want to share another feature. My favorite thing about Google Classroom that I think will be very helpful is the way to differentiate between students. So let's say that I have a couple of students who need a lower level reading assignment. I would say like A, reading. I could come over here to where it says all students, and I could just select the students that I want to have that lower level reading to. Let's say I want to just select like these two. I would select those students. I would go into my drive. I would find that lower level reading, and I would assign just that reading. Then to my other students, I would just create a separate assignment and assign to my other students. So this is another way to do group work. You could just assign, make an assignment for each group that you wanted. Great way to differentiate. You could also set up a separate Google Classroom for them if you have lower students, and you can share assignments to other classrooms. So when I created my assignment, I could just come up here and check which class periods I want, and it would be automatically created for those classes as well. A hint when in Google Classroom, and I'm not always as great about this, but when you create assignments, I find it very easy, very useful to number the assignments. So you can make this one 001 and title it. That way, when you're talking to the kids, if you say like, oh, find your Unit 1 vocabulary, that can be difficult for them. So if you say like, find number 001, it's a lot easier for them to find it. And for me, it's a lot easier to coordinate with the grade book. So that's a little trick. If you want to add other teachers, you can do that again from the People tab. So that's just right up here at the top. You just click on this button and you can add like co-teachers, any other person you want with that domain. Under the settings is where you can pick if you want students to be able to comment, if you want students to be able to post in your Google Classroom, if you want only teachers to do that, etc. You can also set up guardian summaries to where parents will actually see kind of what's going on in your Google Classroom. This is a great way for parents to kind of stay on top of their work, and they get kind of an email like this saying what's due, anything coming up. Also under this page, you can add class materials. So if you want to add like a syllabus or a letter, I put my reading schedule here, absent work slides, just kind of general information you want students to always be able to come back and find. It's a great place to put it. Another good thing about Google Classroom is that it puts all these assignments onto a calendar for you. So the students automatically have like a work calendar set up with all their assignments. Mine looks crazy because I have all these different classrooms, but the students would, of course, see only their classrooms. So that's a useful tool that I know a lot of my students have used. They also have this to-do list, which shows them anything that they have that's due that they have not completed yet. So a lot of really good organizational features. I'll show you what that looks like. This is where they can also see their grades as well. So I found Google Classroom to be very useful for my class. I put almost all my work in there. I've gotten completely rid of my class website and gone to using just Google Classroom for pretty much everything. So I think it's a great tool. If you have any questions, I think Bethany is going to be calling me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. So, thanks.